Have you ever noticed how easily we confuse being chosen with being valued? How often we stay silent in spaces where our presence is overlooked, clinging to hope that one day someone will finally see us the way we wish to be seen. But what if the real turning point doesn't come when they recognize you, but when you recognize yourself and decide to stop waiting for permission to matter? There's a quiet kind of power that comes from no longer chasing attention. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It simply exists, rooted in self-awareness, wrapped in grace, and strengthened by the wisdom that your worth was never meant to be outsourced. This isn't about walking away from others. It's about walking home to yourself, slowly, deliberately, without apology. So before we begin this journey together, ask yourself one question. Not who sees you, but how deeply you're willing to see yourself. Because everything changes the moment you do. And that moment for you starts now. Do you truly want to radiate value in both your personal and professional life? Have you grown tired of chasing approval from the outside world only to be left feeling hollow and unfulfilled? If any part of you quietly whispered yes, then you've already taken the first step toward transformation. Because today, we're not just exploring another motivational trend, we're diving into the time-tested wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has shaped some of the greatest minds in history. In this video, we'll walk side by side with thinkers like Marcus Aurelius Seneca and Epictetus as we reveal 13 transformative strategies drawn directly from their ancient teachings. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're practical tools you can use to build inner strength, nurture your integrity, and lead with quiet compassion. In a world loud with noise and opinions, these qualities will naturally set you apart as someone others respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. But here's the real magic. This isn't a typical self-help video. We're not here to tell you to hustle harder or to keep chasing goals that never quite satisfy. This is about unlocking your truest potential from the inside out. It's about becoming someone who no longer needs constant validation because your value comes from within. So ask yourself, are you ready to take the first meaningful step toward a more grounded, empowered life? If you are, then go ahead and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover is just the beginning. You'll get not only these 13 timeless lessons, but also practical exercises, real stories from modern life, and exclusive insights that you won't find anywhere else. Now let's begin with the first and most foundational strategy: master your craft. The renowned Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." These words hold the essence of what it means to truly master a skill, not through accolades or praise, but through quiet internal commitment. True mastery begins when we stop chasing approval and start focusing on excellence for its own sake. That's what Stoicism teaches us, that the pursuit of lifelong learning and self-discipline builds a foundation stronger than any fleeting applause. To truly master your craft is to commit to the long road of growth. This might mean enrolling in structured classes or workshops, diving into books and academic journals, or absorbing lessons through hands-on projects and experiences. Whether you're pursuing formal education or guiding yourself through YouTube tutorials and online courses, what matters is consistency and dedication. Every lesson, every misstep, every moment of practice adds another brick to the legacy you're building. And remember, you're not alone on this path. Seek out mentors, people who have walked ahead of you, and listen carefully to their wisdom. Let their experiences guide you. Let their insights shape your journey. Then go a step further. Don't just fix problems as they come. Anticipate them. Step into situations ready not just to react, but to create solutions before the issues arise. That kind of initiative doesn't just solve problems, it earns trust and respect. But growth doesn't happen in isolation. Along the way, you will face feedback, and not all of it will be flattering. That's okay. In fact, that's vital. As Seneca taught, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. So when feedback comes, even if it stings, treat it not as an insult, but as a gift. It's a mirror held up to your blind spots, and in those reflections, real development begins. Stoicism reminds us that the path to mastery is less about perfection and more about virtue. Every day is a new opportunity to sharpen your skills, to hold yourself to higher standards, and to do it not for applause, but because it's who you are becoming. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's take this momentum forward. In the next part of your journey, we'll uncover another powerful lesson that can shape how you face the unknown with courage and clarity. Let's keep going. Picking up from the previous lesson on mastering your craft, we now shift focus to another powerful pillar in Stoic living, one that influences not only how we are perceived, but how deeply we connect with the world around us. Mastery may begin in solitude, but communication brings your inner strength into the light. Stoicism greatly emphasizes the cultivation of 4 timeless virtues: justice, wisdom, courage, and temperance. These traits don't just shape who you are, they enhance your performance in any field you choose. They mold your responses, your presence, and above all, your character. Epictetus reminds us that we must learn to focus on what we can control. That includes your attitude, your dedication, and your mindset. When life throws the unpredictable your way, remember, it's not what happens to you that defines your worth, but how you respond to it. So instead of anxiously chasing approval or fixating on things beyond your reach, turn inward, refine your craft, develop your discipline, and shape a mindset rooted in purpose. Find joy not in the glittering rewards of fame or wealth, but in the very process of growth, the quiet joy of progress, the peace of self-alignment. That's where true value lives. As Marcus Aurelius so simply stated, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. By living the Stoic path and embracing the long game of mastery, you begin to radiate value that is felt, not flaunted. Your excellence will become undeniable even when no one is watching. And that excellence doesn't stop with what you do. It continues in how you express yourself. This brings us to the next lesson, cultivating strong communication skills. The words of Marcus Aurelius ring true again here. Instead of merely talking about ideals, embody them. Communication is not simply about sharing information, it's about building bridges, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, that connect us to others with clarity and purpose. Rooted in Stoic values like empathy, mindfulness, and intention. Strong communication allows you to navigate even the most difficult conversations with grace. Begin by striving for clarity. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Avoid vague language or unnecessary jargon. The goal isn't to sound impressive, it's to be understood. Tailor your words to your listener, not your ego, and organize your message well. A clear beginning, thoughtful development, and purposeful conclusion can guide your audience to follow your ideas with ease. Storytelling, too, is a powerful tool. Through narrative, your message becomes relatable and memorable. Stories awaken emotion and encourage connection, allowing people to see themselves in your experiences. Don't be afraid to use your own journey as an example. It makes your wisdom accessible and human. But communication is not just about speaking well, it's about listening deeply. Active listening, the kind where you set aside distractions, meet someone's gaze, and genuinely pay attention, is the secret key to real connection. Use your body language to show you're present. Ask thoughtful questions. Go beyond surface answers and invite people to share what truly matters to them. And then there's empathy. Listening with empathy is about tuning into both what's said and what's felt. When someone shares their perspective, meet it with curiosity rather than judgment. Respond in ways that let them know you understand that you care. That simple acknowledgement can be more powerful than any advice. Stoic thought reminds us again and again to look inward. When you're challenged by fear, sorrow, or frustration in communication, ask yourself, what part of this truly belongs to me? Often it's not the other person's reaction that causes discomfort, it's your judgment of it. So, instead of obsessing over things you can't control, focus on crafting your message with integrity and grace. Respecting diverse perspectives is also a Stoic virtue. Disagreement does not have to mean division. When someone offers a different viewpoint, listen. Welcome the contrast. Express your thoughts with respect, not dominance. Speak not to win, but to understand. Let your conversations become a journey, not a battlefield. Seek the truth together and remain open to the possibility that learning can come from anywhere, even where you least expect it. The path to excellent communication isn't about perfecting your voice, it's about deepening your connection. Now, as we continue our exploration of Stoic wisdom, let's turn to a virtue that shapes how you stand in the face of adversity. It's time to talk about resilience. Continuing from our previous reflection on communication, let's now explore how empathy and Stoic insight intertwine to deepen the relationships we form. True communication is not just about conveying information, it's about fostering understanding, building trust, and laying the groundwork for meaningful human connection. By communicating with empathy and grounding our approach in Stoic principles, we don't just make ourselves better speakers or listeners, we become bridges connecting people with intention and sincerity. This kind of communication strengthens cooperation, enriches our relationships, and over time, elevates our sense of self-worth across every area of life. Remember, your words carry power. Use them with care to connect, not divide. Speak with purpose and let your presence become a source of calm, not chaos. This naturally leads us to the next essential principle in our journey fostering meaningful relationships. Marcus Aurelius's reminder. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one returns to guide us again. This timeless declaration speaks directly to the heart of building relationships with substance. In Stoic thought, the value of life is not measured by solitary victories, but by the depth and authenticity of our relationships with others. We are social beings by nature, and it is through these connections that we find some of the richest forms of growth, purpose, and fulfillment. So how do we begin? It starts with trust. Trust is the invisible thread that binds all meaningful relationships. Honor your promises. When you say you will do something, follow through. Let your consistency be a signal of your integrity. The more reliable you are, the deeper the trust others will place in you. Speak with honesty and act with integrity. Be sincere in your words and in your actions, even when it's hard. Hold fast to your principles. Speak the truth even when silence might feel safer. In doing so, you communicate that your values are not negotiable and that others can rely on you to stand by what is right. Empathy is the bridge to deeper understanding. Listening truly. Listening is a gift you give to others. Instead of preparing your reply while they're still speaking, give them your full presence. Ask thoughtful questions. Show them you care, not just about their words, but about their world. Be the one who offers comfort when they falter, the one who shows up when they're hurting, the one who stands beside them with kindness and strength. Seneca offers us this insight. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, to rest satisfied with what we have. This wisdom reminds us that our relationships, when built on authenticity and presence, become sources of contentment and stability. There's no need to wear a mask or chase approval. Be who you are, fully honestly without shame. When people see the real you, the right ones will draw closer. Transparent communication, where ideas and feelings are shared openly and respectfully, builds intimacy. It allows others to feel safe around you, knowing that you value openness over perfection. Admitting your flaws and owning your vulnerabilities isn't weakness. It's the foundation of connection. To deepen these bonds further, focus on cultivating the Stoic virtues: justice, fairness, and compassion. These values not only shape your character, they attract those who resonate with your moral clarity. Show gratitude. Let people know when they've made a difference in your life. A simple thank you, when sincere, can turn a good relationship into a lifelong one. Living with purpose gives your connections a shared horizon. When your life is anchored in meaning, you'll naturally draw in others who align with your direction. And from that alignment, lasting community can grow. Meaningful relationships are not optional. They are vital. They are not a bonus to a successful life. They are part of what makes life truly rich. By fostering trust, empathy, and authenticity, and drawing wisdom from the Stoics, you will build a circle of people who see your worth and help you see it in yourself. Now that we understand the power of relationships, it's time to look inward once again. Let's explore the next core lesson in building lasting value, taking initiative and ownership. Picking up from where we left off, now that we've explored how meaningful relationships enrich our lives and how they form the backbone of our sense of belonging and purpose, it's time to turn our attention inward again to the role we each play in shaping our own value. This brings us to the next principle: taking initiative and ownership. Imagine yourself at the helm of your own ship, navigating the unpredictable waters of life. No one else knows your course better than you do. Being proactive means grabbing those reins, scanning the horizon, and steering with intention. It's not about waiting for someone to give you direction. It's about identifying challenges and opportunities before they become urgent and stepping up with confidence. Initiative starts with foresight. Spot what needs fixing. See what could be improved. Anticipate problems before they arise, and be the one who offers a solution, not because it's your job, but because you care. When you develop the habit of creative thinking, you become an asset in any environment. Don't hesitate to propose new ideas that can streamline operations, improve processes, or enhance results. That kind of proactive creativity sets you apart. But initiative also means embracing challenges. Step outside your comfort zone. Volunteer for the tough projects. Let people see that you're not afraid of complexity or effort. This is where growth lives, just beyond what's easy and familiar. To make all this sustainable, time management is key. Prioritize what matters. Separate urgent tasks from distractions. Use tools and strategies that help you stay organized and avoid procrastination. Most of all, meet your deadlines. Show that your word is solid and your work is reliable. This isn't just about productivity, it's about respect for yourself and for others. Creating an environment that supports your best output is just as essential. Reduce distractions, design a focused workspace, and protect your energy. These small shifts create big results. Taking ownership also means being honest about your results. When things go well, share the success. When they don't, own the missteps. Accountability is not a burden. It's a badge of integrity. Be transparent with your progress. Keep stakeholders informed. When you show up with openness and solutions, you don't just inspire trust, you embody leadership. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. And when you fall short, see it as part of the journey. Every failure holds a lesson. Every setback shapes your character. In doing so, you promote resilience and a mindset of continuous growth. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't control everything outside of you, but your response is always yours. That response, rooted in virtue, courage, and perseverance, is what makes you powerful." Consider yourself a work in progress. Imagine yourself as a sculptor shaping your value day by day, skill by skill, decision by decision. The process never ends, and that's the beauty of it. By staying intentional, managing your time wisely, holding yourself accountable, and walking the path of virtue, you become the active architect of your worth. This isn't about being busy, it's about being committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, as we shift our focus from individual drive to collective strength, let's explore how the power of collaboration and teamwork can elevate not only your value, but also the success of everyone around you. Continuing our journey from the theme of taking charge and contributing meaningfully, we now turn our focus outward again to the strength that arises not from individual excellence alone, but from shared purpose and mutual support. This brings us to the next essential pillar championing collaboration and teamwork. Imagine a web being spun, each thread representing a contribution from someone in the group. Alone, a thread may be fragile, but when woven with others, it forms a structure strong and resilient. This is the essence of collaboration. To be truly effective in any collective effort, we must move beyond the lone wolf mindset and step into the role of a connected, engaged team player. This means joining conversations with intent, offering your insights generously, and lending your hand when needed, not just for your success, but for the team's momentum. Support within a team flows both ways. When someone achieves a milestone, celebrate it with them. Share the joy. Acknowledge effort where it's due, and let praise be a shared language. When the team succeeds, it's a win for all. Creating this atmosphere of shared success cultivates bonds that go beyond work. It nurtures unity. Offering assistance and mentorship is another pillar of collaboration. Don't hesitate to guide those who are finding their footing. Share your experiences, your knowledge, your time. Just as a rising tide lifts all boats, your guidance can elevate the entire team's performance. Promoting cooperation begins with embracing diverse perspectives. Differences in opinion or background are not obstacles, they're opportunities to deepen understanding and broaden solutions. Engage in open, respectful dialogue. Even when you disagree, listen fully. Seek clarity and respond with grace. This creates a safe and productive space where everyone feels heard and respected. Establishing shared goals is also crucial. Every team member should understand not only their specific tasks, but also how their role connects to the bigger picture. When individual efforts are aligned with common objectives, a sense of purpose blossoms and collaboration becomes second nature. Stoicism at its heart encourages integrity, fairness, and justice qualities that create a respectful and inclusive team environment. It reminds us that humility is key. Being willing to admit what we don't know and remaining open to others' ideas is not a weakness, but a powerful invitation for trust and collaboration. When we see others not as rivals, but as fellow travelers on the same journey, our mindset shifts. We become partners, not competitors. In this space of mutual respect and shared purpose, true collaboration takes root. By nurturing this spirit through openness, clarity, support, and Stoic virtue, you elevate yourself into someone whose presence strengthens the group. Your ability to weave the threads of teamwork determines how far the collective can reach. And in doing so, your own value multiplies, no longer tied to solo achievements, but to shared success. Now that we've laid the foundation of collaboration, let's take a closer look at how you can shape your individual presence within that larger fabric. Next, we'll explore the power of crafting a personal brand, a brand built not on image, but on authentic identity and purpose. Building on the previous theme of cultivating an authentic personal brand rooted in virtue and clarity, we now turn to another essential element in standing out and increasing your value learning to go the extra mile. Once you've clarified what you offer and aligned your public presence with your genuine self, the next step is to elevate your impact. This doesn't mean grand gestures or dramatic transformations. Often it's the quiet, consistent acts of doing just a little more than expected that create the most powerful impressions. So what does it truly mean to go the extra mile? It's about showing up not only when you're supposed to, but also when it's least expected. It's in the thoughtful follow-up after a meeting, the extra attention to detail in a presentation, the sincere offer of help when no one asked. These moments add up gradually, painting a portrait of reliability, dedication, and character. By striving to exceed expectations in small, consistent ways, you set yourself apart from those who only do the bare minimum. Providing more than what is required demonstrates your genuine investment in your work and the people around you. Whether you're assisting a client, supporting a teammate, or tackling a project, adding that extra layer of care reflects a mindset of service, not obligation. And remember, going the extra mile isn't about seeking applause. In fact, the most powerful gestures are often done quietly, without the need for recognition. This modesty reinforces a Stoic principle that true virtue speaks for itself. The value you offer becomes apparent not through self-promotion, but through meaningful action that resonates with those around you. Seneca reminds us that true happiness is found not in chasing hopes or fearing outcomes, but in appreciating what we have and acting with purpose in the present. When you go the extra mile, you're not just doing more, you're anchoring your actions in the present moment with full awareness of the opportunity to create impact here and now. In practice, this might mean taking the time to mentor someone struggling, researching deeper than required to solve a problem, or delivering your work with such clarity and care that it leaves a lasting impression. These moments are investments not only in your professional growth, but in your character. The key is to make going the extra mile part of your identity. Let it be your natural response, not an occasional performance. When it comes from a place of integrity, rooted in Stoic principles like diligence, humility, and purpose, it builds a reputation that silently commands respect. Now, as we continue this journey of self-development and personal excellence, let's explore how embracing challenges and learning from them, rather than avoiding or fearing them, can lead to resilience, confidence, and even greater value. Let's move on to the next essential practice. Continuing from our exploration of the power of going the extra mile, we now move into an equally vital practice, one that often gets overlooked by those who work hard but remain silent about their contributions, learning how to advocate for yourself. Too often we let our results speak for us, trusting that recognition will follow naturally, but Stoic wisdom teaches us that while we cannot control how others perceive us, we can control how we present our own value with clarity, confidence, and respect. As Epictetus reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it, that truly matters. Advocating for yourself isn't about boasting or demanding attention. It's about understanding your worth and expressing it with grace. It starts with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your abilities, your achievements, and the unique strengths you bring to the table. What have you accomplished? What value do you consistently add to your team, your organization, or your community? Know these things deeply and own them with humility. Once you've clarified your worth, articulate it with precision. Craft a statement that captures not just what you do, but why it matters. This isn't about titles or tasks, it's about outcomes, influence, and integrity. Be ready to share your value proposition in a way that is easy for others to understand, and more importantly, hard to ignore. When the moment arises, use assertive yet respectful language. Practice using I statements to communicate your needs or expectations. For example, say, "I'd like to discuss the possibility of taking on more responsibility," rather than, "You never give me a chance." This kind of communication is grounded in emotional intelligence. It avoids blame and invites collaboration. Advocating for yourself also means speaking up in meetings, sharing your ideas, and making your contributions visible. Don't wait to be asked. The Stoics believed in taking responsibility for your role in the world. That includes your responsibility to speak your truth, especially when your silence would mean selling yourself short. Moreover, advocating for yourself is not only about what you say, but also about how consistently you show up. Keep your promises. Meet your deadlines. Be known as someone who delivers. When your words and actions align, your credibility grows and your voice carries more weight. But perhaps the most powerful part of this practice is that it allows you to shape your own story. You're not a passive character in someone else's narrative, you are the author of your own. And by advocating for yourself with clarity and conviction, you empower others to understand your value and treat you accordingly. So ask yourself, when was the last time you confidently communicated your own worth? What would change if you stopped waiting for recognition and started speaking with purposeful clarity? As we continue, let's turn our attention to a principle that brings calm and control even in the most chaotic situations: emotional regulation. Up next, we explore how to harness your inner stillness to respond wisely and maintain resilience. Building from our last reflection on the power of self-advocacy, we now step into a deeply transformative practice, one that lies at the heart of Stoic resilience and strength: developing emotional intelligence. In a world filled with distractions, pressures, and emotional triggers, what truly sets us apart is not our ability to feel, but our capacity to understand and regulate what we feel. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have." This timeless wisdom invites us to explore emotional intelligence not as a luxury, but as a core pillar of a meaningful life. It all begins with self-awareness. To navigate the emotional world with wisdom, you must first map its terrain. Set aside quiet time each day to examine your feelings, reactions, and motivations. Ask yourself, what triggered that irritation? Why did I hesitate in that conversation? Journaling your experiences, practicing meditation, or simply talking things through with a trusted confidant can help you understand not just what you feel, but why. Clarifying your values is equally essential. When you know what matters most to you, your actions can align with purpose instead of impulse. It's easier to remain grounded when your decisions come from principle rather than emotional reactivity. This is the Stoic way to act not just from emotion, but from intention. And yet, as humans, we all carry unconscious biases. These internal filters color how we perceive others and how we interpret events. Recognizing these biases doesn't make you weak, it makes you wiser. It allows you to pause before reacting, to consider whether your judgment is fair, and to engage others from a place of integrity and understanding. From awareness flows control. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means being present with them, choosing your responses, and rising above reactivity. The secret to this lies in mindfulness. Simple practices like deep breathing, short moments of stillness, or just observing your thoughts before acting can create powerful space between feeling and response. Sometimes our suffering stems not from reality, but from the stories we tell ourselves. These are what psychologists and Stoics alike call cognitive distortions. You might think they ignored me, so they must hate me, or if I fail, once I'm a total failure. These are not facts. They are interpretations, ones we must learn to challenge. With practice, you can replace them with healthier, more accurate perspectives. And what about others? Emotional intelligence is not complete without empathy. The ability to recognize and respond to the emotions of others builds connection, trust, and influence. It requires listening not just to words, but to tone, body language, and what remains unspoken. Empathy bridges the gap between individuals, allowing us to understand before judging and to support rather than confront. By anchoring ourselves in Stoic principles like mindfulness, self-awareness, integrity, and virtue, we equip ourselves not only to manage our inner world, but to uplift those around us. Emotional intelligence is the quiet force behind resilient leadership, compassionate relationships, and lasting self-worth. So, as we continue this journey, ask yourself, do you command your emotions, or do they command you? Are you living from reaction or reflection? Up next, we'll explore a practice that transforms even ordinary days into extraordinary progress, cultivating consistency and discipline. Let's turn now to the habits that anchor us. Picking up from our last reflection on emotional intelligence, we now arrive at one of the most enduring and empowering principles in both Stoic thought and personal transformation, embracing continuous learning. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once urged waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. Within this short, impactful line lies the heart of lifelong learning. It's not enough to talk about growth, to dream of wisdom, or to admire those who possess it. You must act. You must become. And that becoming is a journey, one paved with curiosity, humility, and the steady pursuit of knowledge. The first step is to adopt a growth mindset. Do you believe you can improve? That intelligent skills and understanding are not fixed, but ever evolving. Embracing change and welcoming new challenges isn't always comfortable, but it's essential. Mistakes are not failures to be ashamed of. They are teachers. Every setback is a lesson wrapped in experience, and every error is a doorway to deeper insight. When you adopt this mindset, obstacles become opportunities. Instead of retreating when faced with the unfamiliar, you press forward. You seek out the hard questions. You try again when something doesn't work. This resilience, this readiness to venture beyond what's known, is how true learning begins. But it's not just about facing challenges. It's also about feeding your mind. Become a curious learner, one who hungers for new ideas. Read widely and often. Explore books that challenge your thinking, articles that spark wonder, and blogs that expose you to different perspectives. Don't stop there. Attend workshops, engage in seminars, and dive into online courses. Let every learning moment fuel your evolution. And remember, active learning is the key to retention. Don't just absorb information like a sponge. Engage with it, write about it, discuss it with others, apply it in real life. Turn your learning into action, and you'll not only remember more, you'll transform faster. This process isn't about racing toward perfection. It's about falling in love with the journey of becoming better each day. Stoicism teaches that the truly wise are never finished learning. They are students of life until their final breath. So ask yourself, what's something you've always wanted to learn but never took the first step? What skill, idea, or subject could open new doors for you? By anchoring your life in continuous learning, you build not just knowledge, but character. You develop humility, patience, and depth. You learn to see failure not as defeat, but as instruction. And you become the kind of person whose worth is evident not because they know everything, but because they are always growing. Now, as we continue this path of self-cultivation, let's explore another profound Stoic practice, one that sharpens your focus and keeps your intentions clear. Up next is the art of setting purpose-driven goals. Let's dive into it. Picking up from the power of lifelong learning, we now move into another vital Stoic strategy for personal growth and lasting impact, maintaining a positive attitude. Seneca, the revered Roman Stoic philosopher, once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient since it comes from the gods." This timeless insight isn't just poetic, it's practical. It captures the very heart of why cultivating a positive mindset matters. Not because life is always easy, but because choosing where we place our focus determines how we live through both calm and storm. Maintaining a positive attitude isn't about turning a blind eye to hardship. It's about standing in the middle of it all, pressure, stress, failure, and choosing to see something good, something worth learning, something still within our power to shape. It's a decision, a daily one, to emphasize hope over despair, strength over defeat, and growth over stagnation. Start with gratitude. It's the most accessible, transformative practice in your toolkit. Make a habit of noticing your blessings, both grand and subtle. From a quiet morning to the support of a friend, gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant. This shift, repeated often, becomes a powerful lens through which you see the world. Then actively look for what's good not just in yourself, but in others and your surroundings. Call it out. Celebrate it. Acknowledge people's efforts. Notice progress, however small. This not only uplifts your own spirit, but becomes a source of encouragement to those around you. And when setbacks arrive, which they will lean into the Stoic habit of reframing. Ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? Instead of labeling something as failure, see it as a stepping stone, an essential part of the path to success. The strongest among us are not those who never fall, but those who rise again carrying wisdom earned in the fall. This is resilience, not the absence of struggle, but the strength to meet it with purpose. To take mistakes and transform them into strategies. To face adversity with grace, learning, and a will to continue. Through this lens, even pain becomes a catalyst for becoming better, deeper, stronger. And remember, positivity is contagious. Just as negativity can spread like wildfire, so too can joy, calm, and hope. By maintaining a hopeful, resilient attitude, you quietly empower those around you. You remind them that peace is possible even under pressure. So ask yourself, when faced with difficulty, what would happen if instead of retreating, you smiled inwardly and said, "This too is part of my journey"? What might you gain by viewing each moment, pleasant or painful, as an opportunity for growth? As we continue onward, let's take this energy and channel it into our next Stoic tool, one that brings clarity and direction to all your actions, setting purpose-driven goals. Let's explore how Stoicism teaches us to aim higher and more meaningfully. You can handle. Boundaries aren't walls, but gentle lines that protect your peace, your time, and your energy. Say no when needed without guilt. Understand that refusing something external is often an act of deep commitment to something internal, your health, your values, your focus. Develop routines that nourish your mental state. Take breaks from digital overload, curate your environment to minimize chaos, and practice small daily habits that ground you. Whether it's journaling, drinking tea in silence, or watching the sunrise, these simple rituals can restore calm amidst life's constant motion. And just as the Stoics teach us to care for the soul, recognize that emotional hygiene matters too. Allow yourself to feel, but don't allow those feelings to control your responses. Honor your emotions, but filter your reactions through reason, compassion, and inner clarity. Remember what Epictetus taught. What troubles us is not external things, but how we perceive them. This means you have more control than you think. You are not powerless against stress, anxiety, or fatigue. By practicing self-care, you are actively shaping your resilience. You are tuning your mind and body to work in harmony so that when the storms come, as they always do, you will meet them not with panic, but with preparation. In the Stoic view, self-care isn't indulgence. It's discipline. It's strategic. It is about tending to your inner citadel, keeping your strength steady so that you can show up with integrity for the people and causes that matter. So ask yourself, what fills your cup? What quiet moments realign you with your deeper self? Where do you still need boundaries, restoration, or permission to pause? As you practice self-care with intention, the benefits ripple outward into your work, your relationships, your creative energy, and your clarity of purpose. You become a steadier presence in a chaotic world. Now that we've grounded ourselves in the discipline of caring inwardly, let's move into the final lesson, Lesson 13, which brings everything together, the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you. A final liberating act of self-love that honors your journey toward authenticity and strength. Sometimes the most powerful act of self-care begins with a single word, no. not because you are selfish, but because you are finally choosing to honor your limits. Saying no with grace and self-respect allows you to protect your energy and invest it where it truly matters. You don't have to carry everything on your shoulders. Delegate with trust. Ask for help when needed. Believing in others not only empowers them, it strengthens the balance in your life. It's okay to step back from endless demands. It's okay to choose rest over exhaustion. Unplug. Set intentional moments throughout your day to disconnect from screens, social media, and noise. Let your mind breathe. Let your body exhale. Give yourself permission to simply be. This isn't withdrawal from life. It's reconnection with what's real. And when the path feels heavy, don't walk it alone. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who remind you of your worth when you forget it. Confide in those you trust, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a therapist. Seeking help is not weakness. It's strength. It's clarity. It's courage. Remember, the Stoics didn't shy away from hardship, but neither did they glorify suffering. They taught that moderation, self-respect, and inner balance are not luxuries, they're necessities. Take care of your body with rest and nourishment. Care for your mind with presence and perception. Don't dwell on what has passed. Don't fear what lies ahead. Stay here, now. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Learn to choose your perspective with intention. Let go of what you can't control and tend to what you can, your reactions, your boundaries, your well-being. Because when you prioritize your care, you don't just survive, you thrive. You radiate strength, clarity, and calm in every space you enter. You pour into others, not from depletion, but from overflow. A full cup not only nourishes you, it has the power to nourish everyone around you. Take a moment to look back, not with prideful boasting, but with honest reflection. Every milestone you've crossed, every obstacle you've overcome, every late night and early morning, they matter. Celebrate those moments, not just to feel good, but to recognize how far you've come. Write them down. Speak them aloud to someone who's walked beside you. Let your mentors, your friends, your family know how their support has shaped your journey. Gratitude has a way of strengthening not only your self-worth, but your relationships too. But don't stop there. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this victory? What habits, mindset, or methods helped me succeed? Because within every achievement lies a blueprint for the next. Use those insights to set your next goal, not just higher, but deeper, more meaningful. Inspire others with your story. Tell them the truth, not just the success, but the struggle behind it. Your vulnerability will remind them that greatness isn't born from perfection, but persistence. Each win, no matter how small, fuels the next. Let your momentum build. Stack your achievements like stepping stones and let them carry you forward on the path of growth. And when you do celebrate, celebrate with humility. The Stoics remind us success is never solely our own. Recognize the forces beyond your control, the people who lifted you up, the timing that played in your favor. Honor your progress with grounded pride and sincere gratitude. Live in the present. Enjoy what you've accomplished, yes, but don't linger there too long. Let your achievements serve not as a final destination, but as evidence of what you're capable of becoming. And share the credit. Success is rarely a solo act. By acknowledging the contributions of others, you deepen bonds, foster respect, and build a culture of collaboration and trust. When you celebrate with intention, not arrogance, you unlock a source of energy that propels you and uplifts those around you. You become proof that growth is possible, that effort pays off, and that character shines brighter than applause. So remind yourself often your journey is unfolding. Your value is evolving. And this moment right now is not the end, but a beginning. Because increasing your worth isn't about one grand event. It's a daily devotion to your principles, your learning, your authenticity. a lifelong pursuit not of perfection, but of purpose. Let the wisdom of the Stoics walk with you through every challenge, every triumph, and every quiet moment in between. For in the end, it's not the approval of others that defines your worth. It's the strength you've built within the truth you've lived by and the light you've dared to share with the world.